Hey everybody, John Ploskina here. Now, I wasn't expecting to be an overnight sensation on YouTube and suddenly find myself with thousands of followers across all of social media and over 1,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. But now that it's happened, I like it. And I especially like it because I'm getting a lot more interaction in the comments now. And that's really one of the things that I enjoy about doing this. This show is audience participation. I really want to hear from you in the comments. Now, unfortunately, recently, there haven't been too many comments from people who disagree with me, and that's no good. Where are my misguided statist and sophist and Hillary Clinton supporting friends? Come at me, bro. There's only really one person who agreed with me in the comments recently, so I included both of his comments in this. Because what I'm going to do right now, I want to go through and read some of the comments, and I hope this will encourage more people to provide feedback, more people to disagree with me. This is a key part of it for me. This is part of what makes it fun. So the first one I got here from Larry Lyons. In a little over 24 hours, Obama has managed to further alienate Russia, Syria, Turkey, Israel, and Utah, pretty much the whole world. While he continues to coddle Saudi Arabia and Iran, he shows little support for Egypt and Jordan. In fact, he tried to turn Egypt into a terrorist state like Libya. I'm a bit surprised he hasn't fomented an Arab Spring movement in Jordan, but then again, he's not done yet. What's he really up to? No good, I suspect. Now, I responded, undoubtedly, but I hope it's no good of the screw 'em as much as you can before they kick you out the door variety, and not no good of the seize power by any means necessary variety. And that's because the Obama administration is really dangerous right now. They're more than just a lame duck presidential administration. They're the vestigial remnants of an old government, an old form of government. The capitalist system that I talked about in my Facebook fake news censorship campaign in context video. And my next big production video is called Information Ghettos, and I'll go into a lot more detail about that and about the nature of the establishment and about the Obama administration. But Obama has made some moves that seem to me to indicate that he might be considering seizing power for himself and for his party instead of allowing the peaceful transition of power to the new Trump administration. Now, I don't think he'll actually go for it because I do not underestimate Barack Obama's intelligence. I think that he is extraordinarily smart. I don't think that he's stupid at all. But I think that if he did try and seize power, that the mainstream media would mostly support him, and I think that a lot of street-level Democrats and Hillary supporters would probably support him too, and that means they're extremely dangerous. So I think that it would probably start a war, and I think that they know it would start a war. So the question that we have to ask ourselves is, from the establishment perspective, is a civil war really worse than a Trump administration would be? And it all depends on how willing is Trump really going to be to investigate the Clintons, how willing is Trump really going to be to investigate the Obama administration, to put people in prison for the politicization of their offices, for the graft and corruption. Not just the Obamas and the Clintons, for the Bushes too. And I'm ready to be disappointed on that. I think that Trump probably won't actually prosecute that many people, both to save his own life and to make sure that he can actually accomplish things within his own administration. It's kind of unfortunate. I would love to see some politicians end up in prison as a result of investigations that happened during the Trump administration. I think it would be a very healthy thing for our republic. I think there are many politicians who probably belong in prison after having their day in court, of course. But that kind of is what it is. But thank you for Larry Lyons for leaving that comment. I appreciate it. All right, next comment from Big Gator 5. I don't like Putin. He's a murderous fucktard. However, we should be hitting him over the invasion of Georgia and Ukraine and his war crimes in Syria. Yet we are punishing Putin because some fools fell for a phishing emails. So dumb. And I responded, unfortunately, most leaders of nation states could be described as murderous fucktards. I've come to the conclusion that this is an inherent flaw in the concept of the nation state. Someone somewhere will have cause to perceive Donald Trump as a murderous tyrant before his first term is up. And that's true, unfortunately. Nation states are inherently immoral. It's just part of what you get when you decide that there is only one institution in society that has the immoral authority to initiate the use of force. It's never going to end well. History has shown us time and time again that it doesn't end well. And I'm an anarchist in the sense that I think that the nation state is an archaic institution that needs to be fundamentally reformed and ultimately evolved away from. But the key there is that it needs to be an evolution. I certainly wouldn't want to wave a magic wand and get rid of the nation state in one fell swoop today. That would be a huge disaster. But at this point in history, at least, we do have the opportunity to peacefully choose which murderous fucktard is going to rule over us, and that is an improvement to previous forms of government in some key respects. Not as much as the hype would lead you to believe, but there are some advantages to democracy. I don't think that we've fully explored the power of being able to use our vote. And the Trump administration and the democratization of media and social media rising up to defeat the mass media establishment and overthrow the establishment capitalist government is very, very... it makes me feel very optimistic. These are good, exciting, happy turn of events for humanity and for the Enlightenment, Western civilization, traditional way of thinking. But anyway, I will have to say that I would rather have a murderous fucktard who actually gives a shit about the country than the kind of murderous fucktards that we've been getting in terms of Barack Obama and George W. Bush. So I guess that I'm in this awkward position of somehow being a nationalist anarchist. And that's strange, but that's where I'm coming from these days. So thank you, Big Gator 5, for making that comment. And I've got one more from you here coming up. All right, next comment. Also from Big Gator 5, I get the need for a whistleblower website. However, they refuse to redact intelligence asset information, and that has damaged intelligence gathering efforts. Also, Edward Snowden is a coward. There's official whistleblower channels that he could have gone through. Instead, he stole intelligence gathering information and fled the country. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this person's username, but it looks like Gorilla, I don't know. Gorilla One. No, you don't really understand how it works. There is no process to officially blow the whistle on criminal behavior in our government. Snowden was coming home when the U.S. rescinded his passport in midair. The plane was diverted and he asked for asylum, first with Brazil, then with Russia. Snowden, Manning et al. Are heroes. Now, I'm going to have to agree with Gorilla One on this one, or Gorilla One. Ultimately, it's the brinksmanship and power lust of the political leaders themselves who put the lives of intelligence operators and soldiers in danger. It's not leakers and journalists and whistleblowers who endanger people's lives. Because ultimately, we need to know what these people are up to. They operate in secret, and they've proven that they can't really be trusted with these kind of secrets and this kind of power. And the Obama administration especially has been outright hostile to whistleblowers. They've been even worse than the Bush administration was. There are laws that are supposed to protect whistleblowers, but they seem to me at this point that almost to be honeypot traps. I wouldn't trust my life to them, certainly not. So I got to roll with Gorilla One on this one. Hero isn't a word that I personally throw around a whole lot, but I am truly grateful for Edward Snowden and Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning and so on. And the last comment from Zadis. I'm rolling with Zadis here, and probably watching me fumble to try and pronounce people's names from the comments is going to be one of the fun aspects of having an ongoing comment response series. But he says, "What's the story on the background? Why am I using this pleasant riverside bonfire as my background?" And well, the actual reason, in the last episode of my comedy political series Penance Stumpings, the Lord sent me into the wilderness to stump sore losers after the election. I have not yet earned the right to return to civilization. However, I'm currently working on a big project video that I hope will please the Lord so that I can go back to my news studio. And of course, I'm referring to my silly Penance Stumpings video. I will definitely be returning to comedy. My injury and the dark nature of the research that I've been doing since after the election has kind of steered me away from comedy for the time being. The news hasn't struck me as being all that funny. I feel like politicians are funny when there's more at stake during an election or things like that. But I think that I'm definitely going to get back to making fun of politicians pretty soon. It's just an inherent part of the nature of who I am. But also, with the new camera that I have now and the new software and the new skills that I've been picking up, I think that we're going to have a lot more fun here pretty soon, especially now my knee is healing up and the cabinet confirmation hearings are going to be coming up. I suspect that will probably be my return to satire, but we'll see. And that's all I've got for now. So thank you very much for leaving comments. I'm going to try and do this every once in a while when I have time. I always appreciate it. I always look forward to it. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that YouTube comments aren't ideal if you want to leave a comment on an older video. Like I still get a lot of comments on some of my videos about Pizzagate from a couple of weeks ago. And it's not always easy for me to see comments like that. If you've got a comment or a tip that you would leave on an older video, my suggestion would be to leave it on Facebook instead. Because at least on Facebook sucks for all its own reasons, but it's easier for me to see every comment there. So if you're trying to leave me a tip or something, which I really appreciate, Facebook's probably the better medium. And this is a good time, as always, for me to remind you that it's a good idea for you to follow not just me, but all of your favorite alternate media personalities, Stefan Molyneux and Vox Day and people like that. Follow all of us on multiple social media platforms, not just YouTube, not just Facebook, but especially platforms like Gab and Minds that were created to be platforms for free speech, and they're going to become profitable businesses based on that assumption. The power of social media is something that we will desperately need as we head into Trump's first term. Whether you support him or not, we have to do our part to kind of keep it free and keep things free as in free speech, not free as in free beer. We probably should support some of these sites with our wallets coming up. But that's all I got for now. It's a harsh world out there, my friends. So as always, keep thinking. Bye-bye.